about to watch something very cringe. This is called Gerbert's Void. Is his name Gerbert? I think we've watched him before. He has ironic flags up, and he changes them out. So he's sort of like a post-irony, kind of black-pilled, edgy Zoomer guy. And this video is called The Porn Addiction and Transgenderism Connection. I cannot prepare you for how cringe the intro is going to be, okay? Nothing I can do can help you, so just deal with it. Here we go.
War, death, famine, pestilence, war, death, famine, pestilence, just another day. It won't take me out my element. Way my racks are growing, I thought I was on the estrogen. Wait, that's black excellence. Iced out, I'm looking elegant. She said I was broke, that hoe must be smoking mescaline. Made a milli off the OnlyFans, we've reached decadence.
Sounds like he wants to be a girl. I'm getting egg vibes. Just, it's an awfully hot coffee pot.
Yeah.
This is not MF Doom.
Wait. They sent the towers up to heaven for the hell of it.
The towers?
That's alright, that's Gerby. He's back. Gerby is back. I don't know if...
Man.
I think I suffer from whiteness.
Yeah, me too. It's just like so obvious that he's like insecure. That's okay. I don't hate that he's like, it's interesting because he has the confidence to poorly rap at the beginning of his video, but not to be himself. We'll see.
If you've seen the news recently or you pay attention to what the comings and goings of the kids these days, but there's this new thing going on where, let's say you're a guy, right? You're born a guy, you're born a little baby boy, you have the boy parts. Now what they're doing, and no one's even talking about this, but now what they're doing is you can flip the script on them, change up the tune, change up the whole vibe, using certain medical procedures.
I'm going to speed him up. I'll just do 1.25. Just a little nudge. A little nudge.
You can turn into a woman if you're this guy, or if you were a woman, you could turn into a guy. You could just totally, kind of like an RPG character selection screen, you could change your gender.
It's a little different than that, but yeah, you can. Your gender is also like not real, so yes.
They call them transgender because you're transitioning from the. Now, I don't hate these people.
I'm glad you cut that.
I harbor no resentment in my heart towards these people. A lot of them seem pretty chill. They seem to be pretty good at using a digital audio workstation. In my observation, don't know what it is. I'm listening to Spotify, some mix. I hear a new song. I'm like, wow, did a chick really cook this up in Ableton? And I just investigate a little further, and there's always more to the story. By the way, I have no...
But the porn is what makes it happen? The porn makes you rip a fat load to some big butts, some jugs on the old jug tube, and now you're trans and making fat beats. It's pretty cool. A lot of creativity getting thrown around in the porn community.
Hatred for these people. But I have noticed a strange and sinister pattern emerge. I have eyes, I have ears, I have observed something. A connection, possibly a strong correlation between gooning and transitioning.
So gooning is just... I guess I've gotten the knowledge that gooning was supposed to be something different than just jacking off. I thought gooning was like a different thing. Is it just edging, or is it something else? You just do it a lot, or am I missing? Is it just now gooning is edging? Okay, gooning used to mean edging, but now it just means jacking off at all. We used to be a country where gooning meant something, and now it's just willy-nilly. Shake my fucking head, dude.
Noticing this connection, I've seen it to be pretty strong. Enough for me to put forward that what is known as gender dysphoria is something, a neurosis, that is developed and crystallized in people with a pornography addiction.
There were trans people before, internet porn was a thing. I think this guy is like, why am I trans? It's got to be the porn. The porn did it. I think it's, whatever you got going on. If you feel like you want to be a pretty girl, do it. You don't have to, though. You can just, you just be a pretty boy. You can just wear dresses and be a guy still. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to wear dresses. You don't have to do nothing. It's all fucking pointless. You're just a monkey on a rock. Have a good time, man. I'm telling you, these kids, if they actually, we need to give them all mushrooms when they come of age, and then just really let them know that they're just a member of the animal kingdom on this earth. And I think they'd be a little bit better off. Hey, you're an animal here.
Go.
Have a good time, man. Stop worrying about this shit. All clothes are unisex if you stop being such a fucking beta about it. Yeah, just wear what you want.
These two things are strongly correlated. Now, something to note is that there are a lot more, I think multiple times more, way more male to female trans people than there are female to male. And in this case, I'm mostly talking about the former. It might apply both ways, but I have experience. Like, I know people, I see a lot more.
The reason that this might be is a few things, but definitely I think if you're AMAB, you're much less likely to like be at peace with your identity because we're not socialized to be able to be anything other than the very strict set of like masculine things you can be, or else you're gay or whatever. Like, it changes. And while women definitely have like, you know, standards to uphold, they're sort of like insofar as like expressing your queerness or your, you know, how cute you want to be or something. Like, guys who dress up are like kind of like it's, ooh, you put effort in kind of thing. Also, T is hard to reverse. Also, people have seen men, you know, more female to male. That's interesting. I think it's probably going to be, I think when everything washes out at the end, you'll see not that much of a difference between anything going on. T is hard to source in the first place. Well, we have to get it from the sharks or something. We have to harvest it.
More male to female. And also, I've spent a good chunk of my teen years on the old hub.
Okay, start telling on yourself here.
Where men like to beat off. I've never really sat down and read one of these female goon smut novels. I would probably rather shin kick a fire hydrant. The way they interact with adult content is quite different. So I'm mostly talking about male to female trans people.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to read a romance with some fucking in it. I would rather hurt myself. This is male LARP. He's made embarrassed by the concept of like intimacy and the kinds of things that happen in those novels, even if they're corny and silly. Like, it makes him uncomfortable, and it's a projection.
Which are the majority. Now, don't be obtuse and misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying every guy that beats off is going on to start flipping the script on him. What I am saying is that if you're really about that goon life, it's one of several paths that you can take. One of them is the femboy road.
He thinks about this a lot. His mom's going to knock on the door soon and be like, Gerbert, are you making those stupid videos again? Yeah, Ma! Leave me alone! I'm talking about how I totally don't want to be a femboy. It's not me. It's them.
Other examples of roads: the cuck road.
The cuck road.
The furry road. The pedophile road. The anime road. Some of these roads...
Yeah, the pedophile road, yeah. No straight white men are pedophiles. Yeah, it must be the furries. Must be the people who are expressing themselves sexually and who have no repressions.
It has the juice?
You watch anime once, you might be trans. You seen Howl's Moving Castle? Trans and gay. I can't believe it. Fucking watch Akira once, melt your dick off. I don't even know what that is. Cybernetic. I don't even know what the fuck's going on in that movie. It's a good movie though. It's like kind of cybernetic, but also psychic. I don't even know.
Are worse than others. I'm not equivocating them all. There are levels to this goon shit. You have to understand. There's a goon hierarchy. And Nietzsche talked about this. You know, it's like the dragon is the serpent, the dragon of chaos. And it goes to the top of the dominant hierarchy. And only the real gooners. At the bottom of the goon hierarchy, you have just basic beaters. You know, the basic beaters. They might whack off every once in a while, a few times a week, once a week, something like that. They're just on Instagram. They see something that gets them going, some reels, some still image of some model.
If you were normal, you could have like a fun time, man. You're kind of a funny guy. You're a silly fella. You could just be like not a freak. What if that was the case?
Or some OnlyFans girl doing a little dance to promote her OnlyFans, but they don't actually sign up to.
Yeah, so he's got to look off the camera so that he can see his face, so he can see how he looks, because he's worried about how he looks all the time, which is very, you know, I mean, he's a young man. That's kind of a thing, I guess. What I can tell you is that typically when you get older, that gets a little bit better. I've never been like fully in LARP mode all the time.
OnlyFans, they just beat off to the little TikTok You know what I'm saying? You keep going up the pyramid.
They beat off to a TikTok? Guys, I've never been down so bad I beat off to something fucking PG-13. Goodness. A TikTok? I feel like he's telling us that he does that. Beat off to a little TikTok. I mean, wow. Is that a thing? I guess people must, because he just said that I mean, statistically, for sure he is. Why? Why? It's TikTok.
In frequency and intensity and perversity of the content consumed. So you go up, you got guys that go on the hub and they're just looking at the homepage. They find one they like. Then you got guys, they're doing it more often. They're looking for specific things. You got the hente, the manhwa type fellas. They're into the drawings because they can be more cartoonish and hyperbolistic in the features and the act and everything. You got guys looking for specific stuff. Then you got
he knows all about it, dude.
Real gooners. Because gooning...
The real gooners. Wait, we're not at real gooners yet? Hente? That's right.
As I found out, I used to just use it interchangeably with whacking off. Gooning technically...
Okay, so he does know the difference. I knew he was... Look, he said he's talking about other people being in the goonarchy. This guy's the fucking grand dragon of the gooners. No one goons more than Gerbert.
And Nietzsche talked about this. Gooning is...
Nietzsche talked about this? Can you show me your copy of Nietzsche? Can you fucking... Please show me. Can you read it?
Closer to edging, if we're going to use the term technically. So it's whacking it, it's going off to the edge, but you're not finishing. You know, the basic beaters, they just whack off for a few minutes, they're done. Boom, bap. The real gooners, and this is how you really fry your brain, where you extend it for long periods of time and you're gooning.
You really... So just edging? Man, it's okay. If you want to jack off for a long time, go ahead. I don't care. It's not going to burn your brain up. Like, I definitely think that if you only experience sexuality through porn, that can fuck your brain up insofar as, like, your expectations for your real-life sex life and how people are supposed to just automatically, like, suck your dick or something. Like, that's definitely not the case. But I mean, if you just, like, express yourself sexually and honestly with people and you date around, you'll eventually find someone at least, maybe multiple people that you have sexual like chemistry with, and that's fun. Like, this guy gets 10% less toxic during November, guaranteed. Oh, maybe where he's no nutting because he's holding in his essence.
This is how you really open the portal to the lower realms of clip hop. What I am positing is that if you go up a few rungs on the goonarchy, you look at this group of guys that are there.
Yeah, not you. Those other ones.
Transgenderism is probably proportionally overrepresented in this group by a factor of 20 to 25 times as much.
I don't know. Who are you even talking to get this information? Are you in a gooning, like, Reddit? I don't even know. I don't feel like... Don't trans women experience, like, less sexual, like, urge in the initial part of that? And then it's because they're liberated sexually? It's more when you're taking estrogen? Or is it more? You get more hornier? I also think there's a part of it where once you become more comfortable with yourself, you're more comfortable with sex. So,
in my estimations and calculations, now, there's no extensive research about this because research requires funding. And this would be a politically abrasive and risky thesis to test. This is just an inference. If you want to see the brain scans on pornography addiction, I've made a bunch of videos on this, but you could just go to yourbrainonporn.com. I might throw up screenshots of studies or some sources if I care enough to. I'm probably talking to my echo chamber anyways. This is not like an academic channel. This is my rant channel. So we'll see, whatever. There's no studies about it, but there's studies that could point to it and infer. You can draw inferences from them. In my mind, this connection is clear. I see it plain as day. So the question to ask is why? Here's an email I got. Horrific corn addiction led me to meeting a transgender for sex.
Okay. So you want to have sex with people? You're going to read this whole fucking thing?
Piqued my interest with this one. I'll tell you that much. The crazy part is, in the duration of me having these channels, I've probably seen this scenario through confessions, emails, DMs, all of it, several times. Guys have sent me this, trying to confide in me, this
You know what? I think there's a portion of this where they're being sexual with you, maybe, buddy. You might not be understanding that. But men are pigs, and they will be sexual with you whether you like it or not. Oh shit. That's real.
This scenario. And they can't, I believe them, But that's just a little nitpick. I'm going to have to leave the internet. It's really damaging. Anyways, here's the email. Ever since I was 11, I've been beating my meat hardcore. True. You know, the usual.
Great.
When I was around 16, I did NoFap successfully for about half a year. Then life happened, stress happened, and I started whacking it again. This went on for a while, and I started having to masturbate to weird stuff just so I could nut. Nothing immoral, just weird. One of these being transgender she-male. In parentheses, right-wing to femboy pipeline is real.
Right-wing to femboy pipeline is real. I think it's interesting. Let's take this guy at face value. Sounds like you have a shitty fucking situation. Sounds like a right-wing situation. Conservatism. Sounds like you think you should be a certain way. Sounds like you're attracted to trans people and don't know where to put that. And so now, instead of just like being able to organize your sexuality in a reasonable way, you are like, oh, it's a fetish. I must be some kind of freak. Weird shit to nut to. The only thing I can nut to is trans people. It's not even that fucking weird, man.
See, emails like this, it's just, I like seeing these. I need more of these because there's just so much to think about here. Wow, this should be studied. Nietzsche talked about this. Anyway, so I was
Why does he keep saying that?
probably jerking it to this stuff
Is that a meme?
for about a year until one day I decided
Is this just a thing he says?
it would be fun to meet one of them in real life. After my gay mate showed me how easy it is to get sex on Grindr. So long story short, yeah, please keep it short.
It is easy to get sex on Grindr. That's what the app is for.
I find this relatively attractive transgender. Message her. And within 20 minutes, I'm in her hotel room. It's that easy, folks. We start, okay, you know what? At second thought, I'm not going to read this shit.
Oh, get me off, dude. I know, man.
I don't. I'm not going to read it. You get it, okay? You get the gist.
See, he gets uncomfortable. He couldn't even finish what's going on there. My dick doesn't work, and then I even touched her dick and sucked it and liked it. Brother, I'm not into transgender people, and I feel disgusted because of my prolonged addiction to porn. Like, literally, he's crashing out because he had some kind of, like, queer experience, and he liked it in the moment, and now, despite what I said, I'm straight, and I have no attraction to men, masculinity, or anything like that. I am only attracted to women. Well, good.
What's a girl boner?
You had sex with a woman, so that's okay. Therefore, I feel a huge amount of shame and guilt for what I'd done. I'm not insecure about my sexuality. I know what I like. I am, however, disgusted in myself. Oh, no. I have grief and anxiety. I have told no one about this until now. Brother, here's my advice. The guy who's not going to watch this. The guy who emailed this guy and got no help. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Cool. Good for you. Did you have fun? Like, he's just crashing out about having sex he thought was gay. I mean, you had sex with a girl that had a dick. Did you like it? Okay. If you didn't like it, that's okay too. I don't think it means you gotta like be mad at trans people though. It's not gay to fuck women, by the way. It's not. That's what I'm saying. Who gives a shit? You're not gay. At best, you could say that you had sex with someone who is like in the LGBTQ community. If you think that's gay, then you can go ahead. But I mean, if you're attracted to people, you can fuck them. It doesn't matter.
It's a tale as old as time, really. Our parents used to read us stories like
You're confused by the flag? You don't understand irony? He's being ironic, isn't it? It's just so funny.
this, ghost stories, fairy tales before we went to bed. And Nietzsche talked about this, but a famous example you could bring up.
He keeps saying Nietzsche talking about it. Is there a Zoomer in chat that can make me understand what the Nietzsche thing is? Is it just his, does he have like a verbal stem here? Nietzsche.
Chris Tyson of Mr. Beast fame. This man was a well-documented, high-level goon warlock, but then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he did the maneuver. He flipped the script on him. Now he's a shouty. Many such cases. What this exhibits is the addiction cycle, sensitization and desensitization.
I just really don't agree. I think you can have a sexuality and be trans at the same time. There's lots of trans people who are not gooning. Trans people in chat, be honest. One's in chat if you've never gooned. I mean, you can edge once or twice, but I mean, like, you're a gooner or you're not, you know. One's in chat if you're not a gooner. Two's in chat if you are a gooner. You can be honest. Yeah, I don't goon either. I don't have time to fucking jack off all day. Some of you guys love twoing. I have hobbies. Yeah, it's a lot of jacking off. It's a long time. Hey, it's okay if you do it sometimes. You're a gooner or you're not. You're not a gooner if you've gooned on occasion. You're a gooner if you goon, okay?
So you start whacking up. you climb the hierarchy, and the content you pursue as your brain becomes desensitized and fried, especially if you're gooning and not basic beating, you need to pursue more and more novel content.
You goon gatekeeping? Yes. Gooning is a badge of honor. You earn it. You're not a gooner if you've edged twice. You're a gooner if you goon.
So there's a whole branching web of different fetishes and things you need to get into in order to get off. And I've seen it many times, whether it be my experience on these channels, getting confessions and emails with famous people. I've even had a little brush of it with people I know. Also seen, I just remembered this clip.
You've had a brush with people you know? Definitely not you.
This would go well here. So the comedian Matt McCusker, this is a Joe Rogan clip. Let's see here.
Cool, a Joe Rogan clip? So sick.
It's weak, dude. You got nice willpower. But you quit selling drugs and you quit watching porn. You have good willpower. You have great willpower.
That took a while. And also took some bad events.
Yeah, but you did quit.
Events.
That's what willpower is about.
Also,
he's discussed what type of porn he's into. What kind?
I was just saying everything, brother. I went down some dark alleys.
The
T's, brother. The T's.
The T-1000. What's that? What are you talking about? What's the Terminator T-1000?
Yeah.
He ran into some T-1000s.
Boys and the girls. When the boys become girls.
When the boys become girls. The T's. That could be an issue.
That can be an issue. Dude, it's so... That can be an issue. Joe Rogan's battling his love for for trans women. He's like, oh, fuck. That can be an issue, you're right. When they're hot, they're hot. I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to fucking do, man? It's gay. I can't do it if it's gay. I don't think... I mean, maybe you're... Have you considered... Guys, I need you to, like... Maybe your sexuality just isn't as fucking set in stone as you thought it was. Maybe your sexuality is just like you're attracted to people and then you're attracted to them. You can't help it. Can we grow? Can we grow and change?
Joe, I'll tell you, it is. You know, talking about super normal stimuli, dude. That's why I'm so passionate about that. It's like your brain, you need like the edge. That's was my problem with it. I go to like something a little bit more kind of out there, and then you finally you land on those shores, and you go, oh my god.
So that's what it is. It's desensitization, which causes your brain to seek novel stimulus.
Sure. If all of your sexuality is with porn, that can be unhealthy for sure. But I also don't care. Watch some porn if you want.
Now, in this case, he's talking about beating off to it. But first, you beat off to him, then you join him. That's what my grandfather always said. I would put forth that, especially in the last 10 years, a majority of the male to female trans people, prior to transitioning, watched trans pornography. And in...
Okay, so let's say, chat, just go with me on that. I know it's a stretch. Say you're trans. This is what I would expect. I would expect a trans person that doesn't know they're trans yet to be like, something's wrong, but I don't know quite what. And then when you find something that you realize is like what's going on, it can become like oh, I would not be surprised at all to find out that trans people watch porn with them represented in it. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't too. Like, it doesn't take a big stretch to understand why someone might want to see themselves in a porn situation. Yeah, I know. I'm very brilliant.
Enjoyed it and utilized it. So that's the first reason why I think is desensitization and seeking novel stimuli, which can lead you down this path. The second thing...
It can lead you down the path. Okay, consider this. What if your desire to seek novel stimuli is fine? What if it's fine? What's wrong with it? I love seeking novel stimuli, for sure. I do not desire to be trans. So I don't like understand. I'll fuck. I'm not trying to be trans though. I just think maybe you should, I think you just need to like grow into yourself and understand who you are more.
Is trauma. The people I know that have
all trauma
transitions had a rough go of it in their childhood, in their home life.
Because they were trans, man.
Something happened, you know. I do not have resentment for these people. I find it tragic more than anything. Certain traumas happening young or lack of certain figures could create gender dysphoria, and what needs to be understood.
Oh my God. Create gender dysphoria? No, man. I mean, a lot of that stuff happens because there's gender dysphoria. They just don't know what the fuck's going on yet. Like, they don't have the words for it. They can't understand their experience very well. Like, you have to be able to have the language for the things you're feeling to be able to express it, and if you don't, you're just not gonna. Everyone has trauma. To say every trans person has trauma is just to acknowledge that they're people. Like, yeah, I guess I agree. I do not think trauma makes you trans. I think trauma is more likely to drive you away from understanding yourself Like it pushes you further from, because I think like to really truly understand yourself. I mean, you can be jostled into it by serious events or whatever, but like to like truly understand yourself, you need the time and space to think about it, right? And you need kind of the safety and security of it. You need to, that's why it takes fucking decades for people to understand who they are. It's tough to do. Being a whole sentient person is pretty wild. If you think about it enough, it's pretty fucking crazy that you exist with coherent thoughts and continuity.
About pornography is that it's rape.
What?
A lot of people might not be ready for this conversation,
okay.
But
Porn
it is
rape?
what it is. Like, you start beating off when you're barely, sometimes when you're prepubescent, when you're...
I fucking didn't. I don't know, dude. What? I was not beaten off prepubescent. I was beaten off pubescently. Because what happens is your dick is attached, and this is my experience. Your dick is attached, and it feels good when stuff touches it. You're like, wait a second. And then you're just like, well, this kind of feels good. And you just kind of do, I don't know, whatever you're fucking doing. It's always silly. Yeah, 11 or so. That sounds about right. And it's just like you have organs. You figure out what happened. And then no one else is telling you about it because everyone's all freaked out. It's all scary or something. They're also, sexuality. That's weird. Can't let kids know they have genitals. Man, wouldn't it be good if they just knew stuff and could understand their bodies a little bit going in?
Barely pubescent when you're 11, 12 years old.
I mean, barely. Oh, my God. He's a child. Barely pubescent, 11, 12 years. I mean, that's pubescence. That's regular times to be pubescent.
To hardcore pornography that's readily available, shoved in your face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should be watching hardcore pornography or having that as the baseline of your sexuality, but that's a failure of your parents and shit, man. That's tablet kid shit. A lot of these kids are fucked up because their parents were boomers. Frankly, because they didn't have any internet literacy. You will not see this much. I mean, it's still going to be a problem, but you will not see this as prevalent in, savvy parent households. I was also on the internet just fucking running wild, but I was a little bit older. But not that much older. 12, 13. Like, we had it too. It's the phones a little bit because of how ubiquitous it is. But, like, and I guess the internet's better, but you still got to, like, be a whole person. We had porn too.
Just 2 clicks away when you're curious and it's there and there's nothing preventing you, unless you had parents who really cracked down on it, or you didn't have access to the internet. When you get exposed to that stuff at that young an age, do not get it twisted, you've been raped.
Whoa. I don't think we need to dilute seeing sexuality to being sexually assaulted. I mean, if someone is making you could definitely make an argument for some kind of like sexual assault or just in general bad behavior, grooming or something. But you just... like a kid finding porn magazines or something, right? Like that's just like I feel like when we grew up, we had these experiences of like, oh, sexuality is a thing. Oh, it's kind of taboo. And then they kept it very far away from us. And so now, and then we had to like achieve it at some point through, our own fucking luck with the system of sexuality and human socialization. And so like, with very little help from the adults in the situation, I don't think that's necessarily that different from it's not rape to stumble upon porn, man. It can be not good for you and also not sexual assault. It's silly.
That's what it is. I'm not joking about it. Yeah. So this kind of stuff, you're exposed to it young.
Yeah, but you just don't understand what it is.
It can develop all sorts of problems, really. That's why it's sad, when people have a broken home life and then...
when other people do.
They're exposed to this stuff when they're very young. And it just turns into this, and they go down these paths. I mean, the whole experience and getting addicted to it as you develop is traumatic, but there are also certain instances where you can be traumatized by things you see. And it could not be that bad. It could be bad. I mean, the way these things work is complicated, but I remember getting a little traumatized by just a video that was on YouTube. And I'm sure other people around my age bracket know this video and share this experience, kind of born in the first half of the 2000s. It's like kind of an anime aesthetic. These kids are sneaking into this pool. It has this like aquatic, haunting sort of electronic song, and they sneak into the pool, and then things go awry. Let's just put it that way. And I saw that when I was very young. And it was just like so gross and fucked up. And I'm like, oh,
I don't know what he's talking about.
God. Yeah, really, it messed me up, man. So you have desensitization, you have trauma. The next thing I would say, the third reason.
It's art? I don't even know. I don't know what we're talking about. Is it pornographic or something? What the fuck? It's on YouTube, so it can't be fucking bad. That's his trauma? It's just a music video? Can we watch it? Is it bad? Yeah, this is silly stuff.
There is this connection between adult content and transitioning is the general neuroticism that comes from chronic pornography usage. So
I just think you have a slim view of what's going on. Yeah. I think someone who's trans and goons at the same time is probably very similar to the number of people that goon in general. The music video is DYE Fantasy? I've never heard of this in my life. It's a rad video.
I'm referring to things like increased amygdala volume, which would cause higher anxiety, higher fear, reduced gray matter in the reward circuitry, short-circuiting your dopamine pathways. As I've explained before, it's not so much that you're losing dopamine or you're running out of dopamine. It has to do with the pathways the dopamine takes. So it favors one pathway over the other. There's the mesolimbic and the mesocortical. One is much faster, immediate gratification, whatever. I've talked about this before. The general neuroticism that comes from this addiction.
The way he talks about it, he could either be like an egg or he ends up just being like a Nazi eugenicist. He's leaning towards that right now.
It leads to anxiety. It leads to depression, lack of motivation. It leaves you vulnerable. Vulnerable to anything. And you'll
just anything.
Seek answers. You'll seek ways to fix it. You know, these people are struggling. They have a high rate of self-harm. This may have been true before and after the transition. And they're left vulnerable. They might seek psychotherapy. And you can go down.
It's like so much projection, bro. Like a lot of the reason that if you look at every single study about trans people that asks about like, you know, socialization and like mental health and shit like that, every single one of them, it's not because they're trans, it's because of how people act because they're trans. It's the socialization problem. Being trans and like expressing that freely is never the problem with trans people's experience.
A rabbit hole, taking all these drugs, you know what I'm saying, the works. So those are the three main reasons I could think of right now. Desensitization, trauma, and the general other associated brain changes of pornography addiction, the general neurosis that comes from it, depression and anxiety, things of that nature. So that's what it is. I wish I was wrong. Maybe I am wrong. If you disagree, tell me in the comments. Look, I'm a young, impressionable guy. You could change my mind. When sexual...
Young, impressionable guy. I don't think there's data to support what you're talking about. I feel like sexuality is something that you don't have to be so hung up about. Certainly not gender. At least sexuality is real. At least you actually have a sexuality. Gender is just like something we enforce on everybody, and so that's why we're talking about it right now. I don't think jacking off is going to make you trans, no matter how hard you try. You're just going to have to accept, like, if you're feeling like, I don't know, I might be becoming a trans person, maybe you're just trans. I don't know. I don't think it made you trans. I think if you're thinking about that a lot, it's like a thing you should confront and be like, okay, what's my gender? What's going on here? It's okay. I don't know. These kids need a lot of things, but most of it is just like to genuinely, I think like the Zoomers and like that black pill generation, they just really don't realize that it's okay to be themselves. And they like really want to fight you on the topic. They're like, no, it's not. It's fucking not okay to be myself. It's better, in fact, than not being yourself. Yeah, I feel like this Gerbert fella is a cringe guy. Maybe he'll get less cringe over time, but I don't know, man. He doesn't sound like a guy that would actually like to have that conversation. Because a lot of it would be like dealing with his shit and being like, okay, you're kind of fucked up, man. You gotta fix it. He also has a main channel, which is a lot of the same stuff. He's an incel creator. How porn destroyed my adolescence. What it's like to have a doll girlfriend. The vanity of online self-improvement. Guide to escape media consumption. How many men are really incels? Why is it so hard for influencers not to like minors? A deep dive into esoteric nofap TikTok. And why femcells don't exist. You just think they just really liked trans porn one time and freaked out? I mean, the emailer definitely seemed like he had sex and he was like, oh, now I feel shameful. That's crazy. If you feel shame after having sex, it should be like only if you're cheating or something. No shame for just having a good time, man. That's crazy. That's too much internalized shit. We gotta work past it. He wanted to write the email because he wanted to have Gerber know about his sexuality.